So this week in the travel industry, there's been a lot of news headlines that I think more people should know about. And well, that's what we're going to cover here today. We're going to go over 5 of the most interesting stories from the travel industry that happened this week. My name's Christian. I'm 25 years old. I've been traveling around the world for just over 3 years now, and let's talk about some stories. So the first major headline today is that the United CEO has addressed their string of safety concerns and say it's the highest priority. If you don't know this, in the last week and a half, United has had about 9 safety incidents in their planes, which is extraordinarily high. For example, on Monday, they had a flight going to London, which had a landing gear issue. On the 15th, there was an external belly panel missing on the aircraft. On March 7th, you probably saw this. This was the viral video of the wheel falling off the United flight that was headed to Japan. And then on March 14th, an Airbus, not even a Boeing, had a hydraulics issue, but it's all United. So the CEO is basically doing some damage control now. To be honest, these safety concerns are pretty high on my list. If I had the choice right now to fly, I'm going to be flying in about 3 weeks. I would not choose United right now. But to be honest, in the future, I think these safety concerns are going to be addressed and my confidence United will probably go back up. What the CEO is saying is that they have an extra day of pilot training, and they are going to centralize the training curriculum for all new hire aircraft maintenance technicians. Like I said before, I have the utmost confidence in aviation safety. So yes, it's a rough week for United, but I think they will get things back on track. Next, we have Virgin Voyages, which is a cruise line, and they are doing a package only for remote workers, which I think is a smart move because, to be honest, so many jobs now are remote, and I think this could only be beneficial. But it's not cheap, let me tell you this. The price is $9,990 for 2 guests, but it's going to be a month-long sale. So you're going to be on this cruise for 1 month. So $5,000 for 1 month. It's not too bad, depending on where you live. If you live in New York, you're spending more on that and rent and daily living. You get premium Wi-Fi, 10-day coffee credit per cabin, laundry service, early access to booking restaurant, shore excursions, concierge service, access to the rooftop, which is like a members-only area, and a welcome bottle of sparkling wine. They're going to be selling a limited amount of these for June, July, August, and September. To be honest, I've never done a cruise in my life. I would like to do one day. If you've done one, let me know. Let me know if it's worth it. I have no idea. In my head, it's only for the older population, and I don't think I would enjoy it too much, but who knows? Next, probably one of the more important ones we're going to cover is US citizens now will need a visa to go to Brazil. Now, usually US citizens could go to Brazil visa-free. I actually went earlier this year, visa-free, and it was no problem. But starting on April 10th, to enter Brazil, you will need to pay, I think it's around $81 US. Yeah, $81 US for the e-visa to enter Brazil. But there's a caveat. This is not just like a one-time entry visa. What it's saying here is that this visa will be valid for 10 years for US citizens and 5 years for Canadian and Australian visitors. There might be some pushback on this, like, oh, why are they charging us? If you're a US citizen, you have to realize most countries around the world don't charge us a visa price. Right now, I think we can go to 151 countries visa free, but we charge everybody to come to our country, and our visa process is pretty difficult and strenuous. And we charge people just to transit through the United States. Even if you're not coming into the country, you have to apply for a visa. I just had a friend who was flying back to Norway from Argentina, and they denied him on his flight because he didn't know that you needed a transit visa. We're one of the only countries to do this, and I think going forward, more and more countries are going to start charging us, like the European Union next year is going to make us all get a visa. Of course, being a US citizen, I don't like this, but is it fair? I think it's more than fair. Next, on some new routes, United is going to include a nonstop route now to Marrakesh and Morocco. If you've never been to Morocco, Morocco is a beautiful country. I'm not the biggest fan of Marrakesh, but United is actually going to be the only US airline to have a direct flight to Marrakesh. And surprisingly, United only flies to 5 destinations in Africa. They have Ghana, Nigeria, Cape Town, Johannesburg, and now Marrakesh. But something really interesting that I found out about flying to Africa, I know the continent, I have a buddy who works for Swiss Airlines, and he told me that every Swiss plane that flies to Africa, I can't remember if it's Swiss planes or all airlines, I think it's Swiss planes, have to have every single piece of replacement parts in the plane and a mechanic because the infrastructure in Africa is not built to deal with any problems to the aircraft. It was a crazy thing when he was telling me. So every Swiss plane that flies to Africa has to have all the replacement parts in the cargo and a mechanic to fix them. And the last big piece of news that we're going to cover today is that Delta Airlines is pushing back their return to Israel. So after the October 7th attack in Israel, Delta basically stopped flying there. And they put a resumption date of May 1st to re-begin flights back there. But it looks like that Delta is going to push that back again. So now June 7th is the date. Can that date be pushed back? Probably. I think it will. This is a New York to Tel Aviv flight. But that's the biggest headlines in the travel news this week. Let me know, did you enjoy this type of video? For me, I like staying up to date with it because my job revolves around tourism, travel, and I think it's important to know what's going on because not only can it save you money, it can give you security, safety, make you feel a little bit better about where you're going. A huge thank you to all the Patreon, Facebook, and Instagram subscribers for making this travel around the world possible. But I will see you in another video sometime soon. Bye-bye.